Good day, professors. My name is Pavitra and I belong to the Department of Business Administration. This particular module will focus on innovative teaching methods and my 2 cents on the teaching methods, methodologies, and the subject matter. I've divided this particular module into 3 sessions. In the first session, I would like to elucidate the need for innovative teaching. The second session will focus on methodologies to innovate teaching practices. And in the final session, I've described some of the new teaching techniques. Not all the new methods, but some examples of new teaching methods. Some of the favorite movies of the students today are of inspiring and innovative teachers. Teachers who step outside the box and inspire the students beyond the classroom walls. While innovation and new methods were only a possibility on screen, technology today has opened wide doors for us to enhance teaching methods. However, one must remember that technology is but a medium and not innovation in itself. Innovation must arise from the human counterparts too. This century is aptly called as the age of digital technologies and knowledge. However, there are still a lot of criticism that the classroom has not changed significantly compared to the last century or even like 2 centuries ago. Do teachers adapt to or succeed in modern changes? That is a question that needs to be answered. The new century has introduced significant changes in didactics and teaching methods. Didactics is defined as the theory of teaching with the explicit purpose to instruct and educate. However, didactics is the intent to teach a moral lesson or to expose students to a moral phenomenon. The general consensus is that the high-tech environment such as computers, smartphones, video games, internet search engines, etc. have reshaped the human brain. Student mindset has greatly transferred. They have moved from gaining knowledge from a teacher's monologue to visual perception or discussion within and beyond the classroom walls. In fact, stepping out of the classroom has now become the go-to innovative teaching method. So, how do we renew the teaching methods? The traditional teaching method versus the conventional teaching method. Changes in the teaching methods in this century have been studied mainly in the following areas, which led to the active use of innovative teaching methods. The first area is the expansion of the subject of pedagogy. The features of the expansion of the subjects of pedagogy in particular. As discussed before, pedagogy or the science of teaching is not restricted just to the boundaries of the classroom. Stepping outside the boundaries of the classroom has become imperative now more than ever. The second area is the environmental approach to teaching. The contention between the traditional approach to teaching and the innovative method of teaching has become a major topic of discussion. The third area is the novel approaches to be made towards the digital generation. The question is how open are the teachers towards innovation and the willingness to improve their skills. Sure, teachers want to move towards the digital technology, but how tech savvy are we, or how open are we to the technological developments? And finally, the real innovation in teaching methods and how do we go about that? There are lots of innovations happening both digitally and in the classroom front, but are we really adapting to those innovative methods? That is the final area. So this slide depicts the didactic developments and depicts the usage of resources and the thought process of the current generation compared to the previous generation. So the 20th century generation versus the new generation, or or more popularly known as the Gen Z kids. For example, the first point, migration from physical books to visual medium. Visual medium might be a virtual book or an audio book or even videos, YouTube videos that the students prefer today to a monologue from a teacher. Be it anything, this is a well-known phenomenon. We are aware of this. However, that there are a lot of changes happening behind the smoke screen. School or a classroom is no more a passive environment. Students don't just like sitting around in the classroom and hearing the monologues. Students expect rapid changes and also rapid results. While it was necessary for students to be aware of all or any facts pertaining to a particular subject matter, for example, a table or a formula, it was expected of the students to know it by heart, or even any subject matter for that matter, the student was expected to know it by heart. The previous generation was expected to know it by heart. But this generation has entirely changed the game. This generation focuses on how effectively an information can be extracted from the source with limited resources. For example, if we give them an assignment, the previous generation would go about with a book, a physical book, pore over the books, collect information, collect facts from the books, and present us with those facts. But the generation now has moved on from books and they have moved on to informatics. Informatics that they must effectively gain from whatever sources that may be. More importantly, from our search engines, internet search engines. So a student is much more effective, a student's assignment is much more effective if he or she is able to effectively extract the information from the correct resource. So to engage this rapidly changing generation, it is imperative to understand the changes happening within and around us. So, what are the features of innovative teaching? First and foremost feature is to create anticipation. Make students to look forward to the session. Continuous monologue is no longer a want or a need. So, whatever newness that can be brought into the teaching must be anticipated by the kids rather than just sitting through a monologue. Number 2, adapting to rapid changes. This can't be stressed enough, be it in the present or in the future, because there are going to be changes in the future too, and we must be ready to adapt to those features. Especially technological developments that are being inducted into the students' day-to-day life, and how open are we towards those technological advancements. Number 3, understanding and accepting that the system is not balanced. The system here might range from simple thought process of a student or the thought process of a faculty to the entire curriculum of a department or a subject. The curriculum and the student thought process need not be balanced from one department to another, or one college to another, or even one student to another. Are we ready to accept that and understand the non-equilibrium of the system is one of the important features to innovate teaching. Next is to enrich ourselves, to find our soft spots and also the strong spots and act accordingly. The focus on personality need not be just the personality of the student, but also the personality of the faculty. Finding our strong spot, our weak spot is going to help us to connect with those students, and assessing the personality of the student will also become imperative, as we can see from some of the methodologies that will be presented here on. And finally, work together to create a conducive environment for the student. Cooperation, co-creation, mutual assistance, etc. are all words that are often used and overused. But the partnership type of relationships is really important to innovate the teaching methods, because teachers are going to have to bounce ideas of each other to innovate teaching. This does not come from one teacher alone.